Virgo. It's your girl, Javy, High Priestess, back at it again with the general tarot reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. No, I didn't light a J because it's Leo season and I'm doing what the fuck I want to do. I strongly advise that you do the same. We're not holding ourselves to any confines of any idea of anything. Do what you want to do when you want to do it. Be yourself, your whole self, at all times. Patreon is getting everything first. You all already know how it goes. Be sure to check out your Sun, Moon, and Rising. They are rolling out early as hell. For daily tarot readings, check out my Instagram, justj_everything, and for other dope shit that I do, my website, justjeverything.com. Virgo. Already take a deep breath. I can feel it. It's funny because I already know that the video is going to be called EMOTE. E-M-O-T-E. Emote. There's a lot of notes, so strap in. Take notes should you need to. Mercury, your ruling planet, is now in Cancer, so your words are emotional as fuck right now. That's okay. Let them be. Let them be, because you have to learn to get comfortable emoting, feeling your feelings, thinking your thoughts. Feeling your feelings so you can think better thoughts, more rational thoughts. There is a lot going on astrologically for you guys. And on the 17th of July, Mercury in Cancer is going to be squaring Chiron in Aries. And that's coming up in a couple days. And all I have to say is, ouch. There is this need that you may have to talk it out, just talk some shit out, figure it out, brainstorm, clearing out identity wounds and childhood gunk from your heart, from your physical body. I just heard trauma release. That is, if you don't know, that is a thing that you absolutely can do. Your physical body stores emotion. And especially if you've gone through traumatic events, your physical body stores trauma. And I did a trauma release session by way of a retreat that I was at, like this yoga, a yoga-esque kind of experience. They just look it up. You can do trauma release exercises in your living room, in your bedroom. So I feel like that's something that's coming up for you guys. Either way, it feels like a lot. It feels like there's a lot of emotions that you're going to need to be getting comfortable tapping into. Yes, we're coming out of Cancer season and into Leo season, but now we're getting into the heart. Yeah, we were just in the soul, but the heart is a whole another battlefield. On July 25th, Mercury is going to be opposing Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, and the residual aches and wounds split open. And Mercury in Cancer is going to act as an antiseptic of sorts. So there is this painful flushing of wounds, and that flushing will often look like remembering stuff. Like nostalgia, bouts of nostalgia. But nostalgia is a form of depression in itself. I just read somewhere someone said nostalgia is a demon. There is this need to purge, to emote, to connect, to release, to resolve, and restitch the wound with new healing tools. Restitch the wound with new healing tools. The old tools, the old methods aren't going to work anymore. And so there is this storm before the calm kind of for you guys. On July 27th, Mercury's going into Leo, and bam, it's just like heartfelt and authentic and confidence going through the roof. And it's just like all of a sudden it's like yeah, it feels like you restitch the wound with new tools. And Mercury goes into Leo, and it just feels more grandiose, like that your confidence really being based on your abilities to self-soothe and self-heal and restitch yourself back together. And just make sure that you are listening the way that you are listening while Mercury is in Cancer. You're going to need to like learn to take that quality with you when Mercury goes into Leo, because it can get a bit me-centered, which some of you deserve that, honestly. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Some of you deserve to be me-oriented. And, well, actually not some of you. I feel like at this point, all of you need to do some practice in self-prioritization. So keep in mind, after the 27th of July, just do your best to remember to listen. Then on the 29th, Mars is going to be going into Virgo, and no one will be able to tell you shit. Can't nobody tell me nothing is how it feels like. Honestly, there is this boost of motivation, a boost of drive, a boost of ego, a boost of confidence, your productivity going through the roof, you feeling really driven to just get shit done. And it may also as well drive you to be really sharp and be extra slick mouthed. So be careful, watch your mouth. And I feel like this ushers in the right kind of productivity for you guys though. And then last but not least, on August 1st, Mercury and Leo will be opposing Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. And there are trials here at this point, tests, little tests that come up to see how far you guys have come. So, exhale, deep breath. Hydrate. Because we are asking for the most useful, helpful, and divinely aligned messages for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Leo season 2021. The Seven of Pentacles reversed. I just heard that Mary J. Blige song. It's just, oh fuck, I lost the fucking lyric. But it's like 7 years. Some of you may have feel like have 7 years in with something. 7 years in with a company, 7 years in with your current position, 7 years in at this house, or in this relationship, or in this entrepreneurial pursuit. And then all of a sudden, I'm telling you, Mercury goes into Leo, and there's some bam, big ass clarity. And this doesn't even feel like that yet, actually. This feels like all of these, the storm before the calm that I was talking about. Mercury squaring Chiron and Aries. This is the ouch that's coming through. And the ouch may come through by way of like divine insight, aha moments, conversations, but also big truths being handed to you. And there is a need to look at, to explore. First card out on the Selenite throne is the Seven of Pentacles reversed. And so there is a mismanagement of time, or something that you feel like maybe wasn't a good investment. We'll dive into it in the plunge, of course, but the Ace of Swords comes out to say, hey, what are you holding on to? What's in your hands so that you can let go of something and take this sword of truth and cut whatever needs to be cut, and cut the end of this painful mental looping and cycle that you've been in. You have been in too much mental anguish. For some of you, this is anxiety, this is depression, this is phobias. There are, I just heard irrational fears, things of that nature that have been holding you back from moving as freely about the cabin or moving as freely in your mind with your thoughts, with your words as you would like to. And so there is this conversation or clarity or something that's coming down to give you the opposition to get your head out of your hands and take the truth, take this clarity so that you can be done with this style of coping, so that you can be Nine of Swords, so you can be done with this style of defense, this style of this narrative. For some of you, this is just like, oh, this is how it always is. There's a breaking free of a narrative or breaking free of outdated self-limiting beliefs in yourself in some way. This is letting go of self-doubt. There also may be somebody with heavy Gemini, Libra, Aquarius placements that you've put a lot of time or energy into that you're still arguing with or stressed out over, or there is just a new cycle possibly available to coming out. But there also could be information coming out about this person. I also feel like whatever you're feeling like is a mismanagement of time, love, it's your responsibility to have these conversations and bring clarity and establish boundaries and enforce your boundaries. And it's time for you to understand that with Mercury in Cancer and then Mercury going into Leo, your words are going to be colored by your emotions. Your words are going to be emotional and expressive as fuck. So you're going to have to get comfortable emoting and expressing yourself. Expressing all of the emotions, expressing when you're not together, expressing when you don't have it all together. There is something about, like, I feel like you may be doing a really good job of convincing everybody that you have it all together and that everything is okay, but it may not be. And in Leo season, we're getting to the heart of it, and you've got to figure out how to get this gunk out of your head, out of your heart, out of your body. Some of you, I feel like you need to quit smoking. Some of you are deciding to quit smoking. There's something about like clearing out your lungs, doing a lung cleanse, doing a body cleanse, fasting. I also feel like there may be breaks from social media or getting banned on social media. There could just be a need to really take a look at also like the tools and technology that you're using. There could be like, oh, your some kind of software or hardware fucks up or breaks, and what comes of it is something new, a new workaround being found, or a new app or a new technology or a new service or something that you're able to take advantage of. Let yourself explore new technologies, let yourself explore new fields of work, new fields of interest. Some of you may have had a lot of years invested in something and now you're being led to go somewhere new. This is all swords. Ace of Swords, Nine of Swords, Queen of Swords. Whoa. Insight is coming in and you are going to get forced. If you don't do this on your own, the divine, the universe, your guides, your ancestors are going to drag that ass until you get comfortable transmuting your pain into wisdom, your pain into prose, into you actually asking for what you want, you actually asking for what you need, you actually asking for help, you finding a way to communicate your needs, to communicate your emotions without being, before you get to a point where it comes out like this explosion. No one can read your mind. No one can like, yes, people are empathic, but you can't get mad for someone not being able to just like know how you feel or feel how you feel. Nine of Swords at the center of the reading says there is an ending in an emotional, I mean, in a mental chapter, an ending in, I just keep wanting to say entity, apparently. Some of you may be having nightmares, some of you may be sleeping like all kinds of fucked up hours. Some of you are needing to find language to express your anxiety, to express your fear, learning to find language to command dominion over your environment, over your space. I feel led to check the camera because I always do with fucking Virgo. There's something about getting a handle on your paranoia, getting a handle on the things that you may be looping in the mind about. Now, I feel like some of you have maybe freed yourself from some sort of self-imposed confusion or self-imposed stagnation or willful blindness, and now that you see the reality of everything, now that all of this insight has come in, you have no option but to start telling it like it is. You have no option but to be more eloquent with your words so that you can find the words, the language that you need to enforce your boundaries. There's also something about, there may be somebody with heavy Gemini, Libra, Aquarius placements that you are upset with, or that you are having an ending of a cycle with. You cannot move forward with anybody. The Queen of Swords is Sun in Aquarius, so there's definitely somebody with heavy Aquarius placements that you are stressing out about, and the only way to fix it is to talk. The only way to fix it is to figure out your relationship to boundaries and how you expect to teach all of these people in your life how to treat you now that you are done with the ways that you have given of yourself. Some of you, I feel like this is a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new, what is it, life? It's a new dawn. It's a new day. A new life for me. And I'm feeling good. You'll feel good after you talk about all this. Whatever the fuck this is. This could be happening at work. Some of you may be feeling ignored. Some of you may be feeling like you're being taken advantage of in some way. Some of you may have some friends or someone that comes in and is maybe, this new information could be from someone that is kind of cold or that is kind of distant or that you don't know very well. This could be an acquaintance. There may be somebody that is very matter of fact that comes into your life and helps you get out of that old kind of like frumpy or sad state of mind or perspective. I also feel like this is who you guys become. Once you put down the hovering, the worrying, once you take up a stance of faith, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, it means you put down this shovel, this hole that you keep digging. You put down all this labor, all this effort that you're putting into whatever it is. Once you put it down and start trusting in the divine to like grow whatever it is, something, I feel like it's like you're reaping fruit that you didn't expect, or you're reaping it's just like you're seeing the fruits of your labor, but it's not what you wanted, or it's not what you expected, or things may be going slower than expected, or the money may not be as good as you thought right now, or the relationship may not be as solid as you thought right now. There may be things that are really rocky that are going on with people with Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn placements in your life right now. You may really be hovering or micromanaging, and that is not going to give you the energy or the result that you want. You've got to lay these burdens down so you can receive this divine insight, aha moment, inspiration, and truth. When it comes in, it's not going to feel good. Growth does not feel good. The awakening, the spiritual awakening, all of this shit, all these Instagram bitches who are trying to like, who have millions of followers, of course, and then are trying to make it seem like, oh, awakening is running through a field of fucking daisies and, you know, crying into your latte. It's like, no, bitch, that's not what it is. This looks like you losing your fucking mind. A lot of times people, and I'm sorry to get really real with you, but that's where it's at. Like, when you really start to come into this work and really start looking at yourself, it can feel like you're losing your fucking mind. It can feel like you really not having many people around. It could look like you isolating yourself. It could look like crazy dreams, heightened intuition. There is, and maybe even fear. Some of you may be like experiencing clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and there is this need for you guys to establish dominion over your home, work on your protection rituals, work on reestablishing a firm foundation in your mind, in your spirit. And all of that happens when you speak life into your situation. Understand that life and death are in the power of the tongue. So you got to get real intentional about what you're saying and what you're thinking, so that you can be taken seriously in the spirit realm, and so that you can be taken seriously in your life. So that people won't be like, oh, you're just being critical. They can see the like result of your critical eye. So there is this need, and I feel like I say this often with you guys, there is this need to really have a real heart-to-heart with your inner critic about turning it towards something, turning that critical eye towards something that is productive and not self-deprecating. You are turning into the Queen of Swords. Once you learn to emote, you will stop being and feeling so taken advantage of. You will start being able to enforce your boundaries. You'll start being able to listen to the calling on your heart. Listen and emote. Some of you may be finding out that, oh, there's another woman, or oh, there's some other, you may be at odds with someone with heavy Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio placements. There may be you, also this feels like you being at odds with yourself. There are different sides of you that are coming out. Some of you are really have spent a lot of time investing in your logical side, investing in your in scientific evidence, or investing in education, or investing in a specific train of thought or being or living or speaking. And now you're coming in contact with a different side of yourself that's far more spiritual, intuitive, creative, nurturing, loving, soft. And you need to really start letting go of whatever it is that you need to let go of, so that you can take heed on the calling on your heart, so that you can get off the fence and start going towards awakening these dead parts inside of you. Some of you, there is a very big decision that needs to be made, and the decision has already been made. You've just got to stop beating yourself up about, oh, I wasted all this time, or oh, I wasted all this money, or oh, I wasted all this energy, or whatever it is. It's like, no, nothing is wasted. Nothing is lost. Energy doesn't die. It's transmuted. And so there is this need for you to figure out how to get out of your head and start getting into a perspective where you really realize this is all happening for you, not to you. And so get out of this mindset of woe is me, or I don't know what to do. You are a human, and you're here in this one time in this body, and it's important for you to take accountability for your actions and take accountability for your happiness. And this feels like me talking, feels very Queen of Swords right now, and I feel like this is the energy that you guys are getting into, where it's very matter of fact. It's very telling it like it is. It's very like, welp, what we won't be doing is this, or what we will be doing is this, or what I'm not going to tolerate is that, or we need to figure out an option. We need to figure out, you know, a plan. There's something about stop assuming and start listening to your intuition. Stop assuming or making up these, you know, possible scenarios, and start asking questions. Start asking questions to yourself, or asking questions to these people that you're confused about, or that you're feeling anxious about. You can break free of this cycle by way of saying what you need, asking the right questions, and being really loving and nurturing, but also respecting yourself enough to get the truth, and respecting yourself enough to dive in. There is something about you going into your spirit, going into your subconscious, and trying to figure out what do you, and trying to figure out what you have that's of value. And there is something about like diving into your self-worth, diving into the gifts of the spirit that you have, the gifts that you have in this life, your talents, your skills, whatever it is that you want to develop. There is this need to tap in and realign with yourself by way of, I feel like some of you are needing to, you've been running from your emotions. And this is all swords except for 2 cards. No major arcana out except for the Judgment card on the bottom of the deck, which you know I'm not taking. And so this says a lot about Leo season is going to be a lot about your micro choices, the little decisions that you make that we talked about, those tests to see how far you've come, to see how strong you are in enforcing your boundaries, or in choosing love and a nurturing and receptive approach. The Leo season is also going to be about your interpersonal relationships with the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups coming up. There may be 2 women or 2 that are really impactful. There may be 2, and they don't have to be women, but they are, however, you know, folk identify. There is just about, there are 2 energies in your life, or people in your life. One is going to be very logical, one is going to be very feeling based and intuitive. And I feel like both of these people in your life are reflective or are a reflection of the sides in you that are possibly at odds with each other. And so there is too much emphasis put on on the logical and on facts, and not enough emphasis on faith and on feelings and on intuition. So it's time for you to do what you can to get quiet, to really tune into yourself, tune into whatever it is that you're hearing, so that you can get off the fence and move towards your purpose, not trying to overanalyze and pinpoint. There's got to be a certain point of surrender where you just like, I'm of value and I want to be of service, and I surrender to being used. I surrender to my wealth. I surrender to divine timing. I surrender to success. It's just like, at what point does your faith activate? And what point do you start moving from a heart-based like cycle? Because it being all about logic is going to steer you away from what your heart and what the divine is trying to tell you. So it's time to listen. I love you. Let's get into it. For the full version of the video, go to Patreon.